Welcome to Founders Fortitude, Conversations with Audrie Dollins, a podcast where we uncover the raw realities of being a founder, celebrating the brilliance of the teams, individuals, and families working tirelessly behind the scenes, and explore the fortitude, the unwavering determination it takes to navigate the twists, turns, and triumphs of entrepreneurship and life itself. Each week, we will share candid conversations, actionable insights, and inspiring stories to empower you on your journey. Whether you're building a brand, scaling a business, an online creator and influencer, or pursuing your passions with relentless drive, let's dive into the grit, grace, and growth it takes to thrive. Let's get into it. Hi friends, I am so excited that not only did I interrupt Chelsea's day, but that I did interrupt Chelsea's day because Chelsea I'm just so thankful that you are a part of the 80 Media Group team.
Thank you.
And so like when I say I interrupted the day, if we have clients that are watching this, she'll get back to you shortly. Because you do amazing things.
Thank you.
And I am so glad that we are blessed to have you a part of our team. And we are so grateful. And you have, in this short of time that you've been here, you have made such a positive impact.
Thank you.
And I just want to follow that up on, I think there's words that like, oh, toxic work environment or stressful work environment.
Right.
We all make up a work environment.
Sure.
And when you came in, it just built on to the positivity, the goals, like when people align. And so I'm just beyond grateful and just excited that I can't find words. I'm just going to gush about you. That's what the whole podcast is about, folks.
Me at the end of the day.
Gushing about Chelsea. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
And like your background.
Okay.
And then we can kind of talk about how we connected with people that we know.
Right.
And how, like, God just opens doors like that when He's ready to open them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you first and foremost. I'm so grateful to be here and just to sit here and talk with you and just to be at this company. My husband and I moved here from Arizona it hasn't even been 2 years. So it's been like a pretty short amount of time, and we laugh because we always felt Dallas on our hearts, but we thought we were gonna like grow old in Arizona. In fact, we had just bought a house 8 months prior to moving here, so that was a quick turnaround. I'm not moving again, is what I told him.
Yeah, please don't. No more moving. We're not gonna let you.
Yeah. Anyways, so we always felt Dallas on our hearts, and the opportunity kind of opened up to move here, and so we picked up and we came. And we don't have kids yet. We are praying for kids. We are speaking out loud for kids.
Kids are coming.
Kids are coming. I'm pregnant. I'm a mama.
They're on their way.
But we just didn't have really anything besides our family and friends, which we hold so dear to our hearts, of course, in Arizona, but it was the perfect time to come to Dallas. So we came here and we dove in just head first with our church community and just trying to build up that community. And it didn't quite work out how we thought when we first got here, but God has shown us so much since we've been here in that short amount of time as to why we needed to come out here. And I'm so grateful. It's just been so much fun.
Well, I love how you tapped on, like, we all have these ideas and these plans.
Right.
And then God's like,
oh, yeah, it's always messy.
It's always messy. Like, you think that you have it, and then God's like, I always used to say, I had plans and God laughs.
Yes.
Like, I have plans and God laughs. Because He's like, no, I'm going to build you in this way. Because we think we're in control.
No,
like,
we're not.
Isn't that funny?
At all.
I wish He would take control when I'm veering over to Chick-fil-A, though.
Same.
Like, can you just swerve me back?
Yeah.
But just
take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel.
Put the pizza down. But I love that. And I love that you came to Texas and you were searching for your church family and you found that. And your church family actually pointed you here.
Yes.
Which was like a blessing.
Total God moment.
Perfect timing for us. Perfect timing for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't in a package that you were looking for.
Right.
I mean, it just happened. Yeah. And we literally, we weren't searching, but it happened.
It happened.
Because someone within your group.
Right, my Bible study.
Your Bible study.
I just met her, yeah.
And I have known her, and from, my personal life.
Yeah.
Because I don't really intertwine my personal life with business.
Yeah.
It's not like you maybe people bring their best friends to work day. I should do that. Maybe I should.
Fendi, so
I bring Fendi.
She's a best friend.
My best friend, I think she'd be like, what is it that you do?
What are we doing here?
It's like City Mouse and Country Mouse.
So cute.
It's so fun. But like, we don't, anyway, my friend and it just worked out so great.
It did. With my background in marketing and everything, I love being creative, but I also love the influencing side of things. So it was
well,
perfect.
and that's what was like the check mark, because as soon as our mutual friend introduced you, I, of course, do what any person does and stalk them on social media.
Of course.
Because you can learn a lot about someone. And what I was so taken by is that your strength to tell your story.
Thank you.
And that is brave. And because we leave ourselves open for a lot of things. And I think it's so important as creators, I started out as a photographer, understanding what it's like to be on the other side of the camera.
Right.
Every process that we offer in this digital marketing space, I have put myself in. Yeah. And so when I saw that you did this and that you had, a presence and that how you were approaching, how your content looked, how elevated it looked, and then the story you were telling, I was like, this can connect with our clients. This can connect with people. Yeah. This is what trust marketing is about.
Completely.
What made you feel confident, brave? Did you pray about? What gave you, I'm going to tell people my story about infertility. What made you say, I'm going to open up, go for it? Because a lot, I hide my children a little bit. I share them, them coming on the podcast was a big deal. Yeah. My kids aren't on, so they are, but they're not, Yeah. My husband's just he's on Facebook. Is it for sale? Is there a boat for sale? Yes. He's
buying things.
Yes, he's selling things, buying things. Is there a boat for sale? That's what he does on social media.
It's different for everybody.
Yeah. So what made you go I'm gonna share?
Do it. Yeah, ever since I was a little girl, I've always loved fashion and beauty, and I'm such a girly girl. That's my whole thing. It's just I just love to share that with my friends and stuff. And it was kind of in 2020, 2019, so it was just I was working from home and I wasn't really sure is this a space I want to be in? And so I just took the leap and I started sharing fashion and beauty. Well, it was so saturated already with fashion and beauty and different things like that. And it was great. It was fun. But around 2020, my husband DJ and I started trying to get pregnant. And that was a whole thing I didn't expect to go through, of struggling to get pregnant. And I don't love to say infertility. I love calling it fertility journey. No, it's okay.
Yes. I'm learning. This is why it's so important. Because I learn. Because I don't know.
Learned. Yeah. It's I didn't expect to go through this, and here we are, 5 years later. But within those 5 years, I met some really cool women online that are just the Instagram community of women. And just when you find those people, that is so much fun to connect with those girls. And they become your Instagram besties. And it's really cool to just get to know them. But also, what they're walking through too, both in person and online. So it's kind of fun. But all that to say is I met a girl and she was sharing her journey. And so it inspired me to start sharing our journey. And as I was starting to share our journey, our faith journey started to grow too. So my husband and I got rebaptized in 2019. And from there, it was just, I felt this immense calling to share with other women what we were going through and also bring them closer to Jesus, and just how I was struggling to go through this fertility stuff.
Yes.
No, I even catch myself still to say.
Because you gotta leave with a positive, grateful mindset.
Right.
Even in the lowest, you have to be grateful.
Right. Yeah.
And even in the darkest times. And I have suffered immense, tragic loss.
Yeah.
But I remember being weirdly grateful.
It's a piece
because isn't it crazy how grateful you were sitting in such am I living this reality? But yet I sat in such gratitude in the grief.
Right.
It's so strange. It's a peace. It's a my heart is torn open, but look at all this beauty. Look at this, lessons and all the things.
Right.
But I can see how I've experienced that, I should say.
Oh, totally.
But it's leading in gratitude and positivity.
Yeah.
I think we should make that a word. But
gratitude. I like it.
But leading in positivity is where it's not infertility, it's fertility.
Right.
It's because it's going to happen.
Right.
It may not look like this journey or this,
I have plans.
but you know what's amazing? really amazing and the craziness of it all is, even if, like, I had a so-called quote-unquote normal pregnancies, but even those were different. Even those were scary.
Right.
Even the things that happened to me. You know, my daughter came out purple, like, just, she didn't get enough oxygen. Even though it was the same process, everybody's journey is different.
Totally.
Even if, like, you're a whatever normal, which there is no such thing as normal. I just need to let people know.
We're all not normal.
There's a journey in that.
Yeah.
There's fear. There's,
Completely.
different things. Like what you were at your first pregnancy, it's not going to be the same as the second. Like, every journey's different. And so every journey is different in the fertility journey.
Right. And I felt like I was, like, my mindset was getting in, like, a very dark place because it's a sensitive and it's hard and it's something that is so painful.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to become my whole identity of, like, I'm not just this girl that's struggling to get pregnant. Like, I'm so much more than that. I love the fashion. I love the beauty. And it's okay to have that joy for things and enjoy things that, you know, God is doing in your life and people and all the fun things that you have, but also be suffering and struggling and walking through this journey to grow at the end.
But you're nailing it, and I love it, because even once the baby gets here, you still are going to want things for yourself. Right. And you're still going to want to have fashion and career. Right. And I think a lot of the time as women, and I heard, I heard this on a podcast the other day, Erin Andrews was talking about her journey, that they worked so hard to have their son, and then here it was, it's like the Super Bowl, all of these things, and then it's hockey season for her husband, and they have their little one, and she feels so guilty, but then she had to slow her mind down and be like, everybody's fine. Right. He's healthy. Right. Like, everything is, she can, even though she prayed for it, is not a bad thing to still have a career. So even when baby gets here, all the mom guilt, we're all going to have it, but just slow the mind down and just it's day by day, step by step.
Exactly.
And then let's circle back. That leads you here.
Yes, it led me here.
It led you here.
Literally.
Because you're pushing through. And I think that your journey is like many people's journey, because you said, what sparked me was, you said, like, connecting, and you saw someone else's journey. Right. I think about body positivity.
Absolutely.
I think of several creators and brands that we work with where it's that trust marketing where we all have our body things, or we use this makeup because maybe it's wrinkles, maybe it's acne, maybe it's, and then clothing with fashion, maybe it's, I'm a curvy girl. Right. I've always been real stocky and curvy. So I always look to, like, certain fashions that help me with bust and hips. Yes. And so, and even, and I want to give, like, homage to the cute petite girls. Like, well, I mean, we cute and curvy too, but like, there are creators that have connections because they are short, or they're a size 0, or they're a size 14 or 16. All of that is where social media, to me, along with your fertility journey, is where that connection. Absolutely. And that brave way to connect with people.
Totally. That's been my favorite part about it is, okay, now I've opened a door to pour into other women that are also struggling with this. Like, don't want to get emotional about it, but it's such a beautiful thing that God put me in that position to be able to connect with other women. And I can imagine that that's how our creators feel too, of, like, they're making connections because it's real, it's authentic, it's their brand, and it's who they are.
They hold it up, and you know it, you see it. They are intelligent about the brands they work with.
They get it.
They hold their audience, the authenticity. I mean, it's here. We all see, like, on TV or social media, like, these fake influencers or brands that they do this. I don't think anybody's perfect by any means, but we are so blessed to work with clients that are so authentic, and they care about their audience. Yeah. And I think that's why it was so important to me. Like, when I saw you, I was like, she will understand them. Yeah. And then you will understand what understanding what the brand's looking for, understanding how the influencer is holding their consumer close to their heart.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, and we connect with them for certain reasons. So me and you laugh about this a lot, because brands, when they're, like, requesting something that's out of the box of what that influencer would do.
Yes, always.
It's funny, because we're funny. Like, you have to trust that creator or the influencer. Okay, question. Let's just clear this up. Are they creators? Are they influencers? I have an answer for it, but I want to know what your thought is. Are they influencers? Are they creators? What are they?
I've seen this come and go of like an influencer almost has, I'm going to say it, almost has this like stigma where people don't take them seriously, I feel, and I don't like that, because I think an influencer, like, that's a salesperson. They're selling.
Yes.
And they're doing good. They're putting an influence on you.
Yes.
They're influencing you to buy things. Of course, it's much like, you know, you're watching TV and you see a commercial. It's no different. They're doing the same thing.
Yes.
So I think it's a great term, influencer, but then content creator is the one that I hear more often, and I think people can, like, digest that one a little bit more. They're like, oh, you create content.
They put a little, yes.
For whatever reason.
Yes.
So they're
yeah, and I think they can be used in certain situations and all of that, but I always catch myself bouncing back and forth, and I wonder if people catch that, because I think there is a negative little bit of twist on influencer.
I don't know,
because I think with all things someone takes it too far. Completely. Or someone makes a mistake and it is hyper focused.
That word.
Like the whole cancel culture type of thing.
Yeah.
And it is real. It is. We had somebody on where they were getting trolled on TikTok and it affected them. I mean, people were calling, it was bad. Like leaving things on their porch, like the TikTok community, and then it was a mistake. Like then they had to do a retracted statement. So,
okay.
But I think that this whole cancel culture and then someone made, you know,
it takes off.
It
snowballs.
And then I think a content creator, I think it's kind of the same thing, but I'm like you, as a brand, you know, like, what are you looking for?
Right.
And then as what do you want to be known for? Because there's also being famous and infamous, right?
Right.
So I think it's kind of can play in those, you know, celebrity and celebrity kind of thing. Like there's this type of celebrity and then there's this.
Type. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what I look at it as, but I have respect for all of it.
I do too. It falls under the same
umbrella,
technically for us, because we're in that world. But I think it's just
to the audience and consumer. It's like I used to say this too, because as a photographer, like everybody was a photographer, and I used to be like, but I'm a good one.
I can.
So kind of like like I'm really good though. Like
you are.
I didn't give myself enough credit back in the day.
You're good.
I don't think I did. But kind of like with influencers, it's like, but I'm a good one. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
you have to justify it.
You have to justify it. And I wonder why we have to do that, because we live and breathe this.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm like getting to, is to tell the brands, like, you are hiring this creator for their audience, and they know their audience.
Yes. Yeah.
And let them shine.
Right. Let them be free and creative, and like that's where they thrive.
And your brand will go with them.
Yeah.
And if you allow that, let's tap on this too.
Okay,
Gifting.
Gifting.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Oh, I have so much to lead in on this.
I know.
I'll be quiet. Let me sip and let you. Yeah.
I have so much, I can't even get my thoughts together on it. I think gifting can go two ways. It can be a good one and it can be a bad one. So let's go the good direction first. I feel like gifting, if you really want to work with a brand, or, you know, that's a really good way to get your foot in the door, show the brand that you can make the sales, show the brand you can make the content, how you're going to make the content. Like, I think it goes really well hand in hand in that way. And I think it's a good, like, meet and greet opportunity.
100%
I think it's wonderful, especially if you like the brand and you want to work with them. Like it's free.
I'm sorry, items. Nike. Were you sending over a pair of shoes? Like, hey, I'm gonna photograph this every day. Yes, exactly. And I am gonna share this with my audience every day.
Exactly. Yeah. I think where it goes too far is where brands take advantage of the gifting opportunities, because at the end of the day, it's a content creator's job.
Yes.
And they're stepping on boundaries and crossing the line a little bit of like they want X, Y, and Z for gifting, and it's like no, this is their career.
Yes, so 100% agree.
There's two directions there.
Yes, and I also think on the flip side, as the brand, it's like if you are only giving gifting, you get what you get. And if you want to see and you want to have a little bit of control, as far as, I wouldn't say you need to, and here's where it's at. If you are doing influencer campaigns, it depends on what you're using that creator 4.
Yes.
So there's some word differentiation right
Yes.
there from influencer campaigns and creator content.
Yes.
So there's a little bit to kind of explain the difference.
There you go.
And with that, it's like, okay, why are you hiring this creator? Now, you can have control over, I want you to do stories, I want you to do reels, and I want you to do a blog and newsletter for me.
Right.
That's the control you have.
Right.
What they do and how they create it for their audience, that's the control they have. Thus for makes it a collaboration
Completely.
for success.
Yep.
If you try to control every scenario and put them in a location that does not look like them, it is not going to work.
No, it's not going to look good on either end. And then it's just like a broken relationship at that point where nobody wants to work together in that. And it just doesn't happen. It's kind of a bummer. So.
And then when you make it stressful, they're going to be like, you know what? I am so busy. I can do this and do this and make up for, and not have to deal with all those demands.
Exactly.
Yes. And then like social media, so kind of tapping that in with social media, we talk about this all the time. So we're talking about collaborations and our story, and we see creators going on these influencer trips, which could be a whole other episode. And we're going to have like 80 Media Group roundtables. We're going to get more people in here.
Let's get a panel.
We're going to get a panel, and we're going to talk about, that's going to be like a next episode.
Oh,
like
I love it.
Creator like events.
Yes.
Because I'm obsessed with them.
Yes.
But they can backfire.
They can backfire. They have backfired.
They have.
There's been some things.
There has been some things. And is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much what was that ROI?
Right.
I mean, there's been some things.
Money was dropped.
Yeah.
In those.
And
it's amazing.
Yeah, I have so many questions that I think about. Yeah,
let's
save those
because those are
Kobe
so
Bryant.
great. I'm like,
Kobe Bryant.
We'll go for 2 more hours.
Yep, letting that go. Swish, it's gone. Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So like this person got a collaboration, this person got a collaboration, and it's not necessarily that our clients like call it out and like, hey, I didn't get that, but like they still notice.
Right.
Like I am doing the exact same thing. I have more following. I have more of this, which it's not about following. We know about that.
No.
It's about conversion.
Correct.
In some type of manner.
Yeah.
From engagement to to the throw over you can do to the brand.
Right.
And ultimately, we're in this for money.
Yeah.
Every business, like everybody wants to make money. So if a brand's hiring you, imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Ooh, I mean,
get it. I get it.
That's one I think. Do we need to stop? Oh, sorry.
I get it.
I get it. You get it.
I got it.
That's one I think that we struggle with that in everyday life, whether you're on social media or not. You know, new moms. You know what I mean? I'm sure that there's going to be a moment where I'm like, my body doesn't feel like my body. She looks amazing. She just had a baby. Why don't I look like that? You know,
I'm 41, had my babies years ago, and I'm still like...
just, right? We just compare ourselves. And that's one thing that I'm working on where I'm like, that's where I'm trying to train my mind of like, no, I am pregnant. I'm a mom. I'm going through a fertility journey. I'm not infertile. Like, that's where your mind is so powerful. But also... I think that on social media, when we're scrolling, you could be scrolling for inspiration, and it's so much fun, and it's such a great place to be creative, but it also, that's where the comparison just strikes you immediately, like what we were talking about. And I was talking to a creator one time, and she said, before I scroll, I make sure I post at least 1 reel, 1 story, and an LTK post or something. Like, she hits these deliverables for herself before she allows herself to open up, that space, whether she's looking to be creative or something, because it's just such a heavy place to be sometimes.
No, for sure. And I think that, and we've talked about this before, when you are a creator, an influencer, you have to treat it like a job.
Right.
And when you go on and you're doing it for work, you can get caught up in that because think about it. I am, what does Holly call it? The doomsday?
Doom scrolling.
Doom scroll. What is it? Like doomsday prepper?
Where am I?
But like I do that at night.
Yeah.
I literally can cry.
It's like brain rot.
Like I can cry.
Yes.
And then I will be dying laughing.
Yes.
I have had a Pinterest meal. Like I have gone from every emotion within 3 minutes because they are 15 to 30 seconds.
Yes.
Within 3 minutes, I'm in love with my husband. I love my best friend, and then there's like a fart.
Yeah. It is. It's such a quick hit.
And then it's like a negative thing.
Right.
It's like negative, positive, crying, laughing.
It's a roller coaster.
It is.
It is. I've never thought about it that way.
It really is. It needs TikTok needs medicine,
especially. Yeah.
But. I mean, I love it.
Right.
I love it. But it's the way that you approach it.
Absolutely.
And I've always said that, how you approach social media. Because, yes, do people sometimes do spiteful posting and lead with negativity? Of course. I might have been guilty of it once or twice way back in the day.
It's behind a screen.
The passive aggressiveness of a quote or something. Way back in the day, and I hate that, right? We're all guilty of some type of things.
Sure.
But I think it's how you approach social media. How do you, because I do post quotes that motivate now. That is, I want to be motivational. I want people to see me as driven, helpful, and a resource.
I love it.
You could also flip the script. And I think that I say the same thing. Get on there to do what you need to do if that is your job. But I say that all the time to my friends. I wouldn't be on social media if it wasn't for my job. Because I'm on there to post for my family, my kids. Like, I have one platform that is my family, because I've lived in Kansas, my son lives in North Carolina, I have family all over, family and friends. So I want to share my kids on there and them growing. But I think when it's your job and you have to see, like, okay, what's trending? It is thinking about, okay, we all wanted to be the cool kid in high school.
Oh, yeah. I was not at all.
I don't even going to begin to try to reflect who I thought I was in high school. Blurb that one out.
Podcast.
Separate podcast. But yes, I mean, we all we want to be trending. We want to go viral because that ultimately results in good for business.
You want to be relevant. And when you're treating your page like a business, of course, those things are important to think about.
100%.
Navigating it.
And so can you give me, like, if you know someone that wants to be a creator, or like if someone is a creator, wants to be one, what 3 tips would you give them?
Okay.
I know we came up with these.
Yes, we did.
And we've talked about them because I love them.
Yes. I think the first one was consistency, which we hated that word.
We laughed.
Oh, it's so overused.
It's because, but I want to be on why that is. Because the answer every time is going to be consistency.
Of course.
To what? Because people will say, do social media. We'll be consistent. How? What does that look like? What does consistency mean to you?
I think to me and to AD Media, it's showing up in whatever manner. So it doesn't mean posting a reel every single day. Like, of course, there should be content going likely every single day. But, it's showing up on stories. It's showing up on different areas and engaging and just being present. So, like, consistently being present.
And I 100% agree, because this is when we were talking about consistency means showing up. Because if you treat social media, and if this is your career, you treat it like a job. Because you wouldn't not show up to your job one day for no rhyme or reason because you just didn't feel like it. Now, some people do, but I don't know how that's working out for them. But if you treat it like a job, you show up to your job every day. So we treat it like a business. So, like, if you don't show up for work, that's a problem.
That's a big issue.
Unless you work part-time, then that's okay. But if you don't show up, then you will not have that consistent paycheck at your job if you don't show up. And so approaching social media as a job, whether that's a content creator and even a brand, you have to tell that story. You have to show up every day.
And that was what I think that was that next one we were talking about, was like monetization. So actually treating it like a full-time business and getting the best use out of, you're this wonderful creator and your niche is here, and how can you get those brands to work with you? And then from monetization, it's getting a support team so that you don't have to learn everything. Like, you're the excitement and the dreamer and like the fun creative person. Let's get someone in that can handle analytics for you, that can do the LTK posting, that can do all the Amazon behind the scenes, because that's 7 different jobs right there.
No, 100%. It is delegating, because you may be the most amazing content creator, but you may not be a great accountant, and you kind of need to be that. And you kind of need to understand your analytics and take that time to look at your business as a whole. And that is why AD Media Group was formed, because I was watching, I had firsthand watching everybody balancing all these things. Even with collaborations. It's so funny, because if you say something nice about me, like, I blush. I'm like, oh, so when someone's trying to work on your behalf. And you're like, no, this person deserves more. I can't see myself going, I mean, I will. Like, when my back's up against the wall, I'm going to tell you, because I am confident in how hard I work and how I will show up, because I do show up at my job, 40 hours a day.
Yeah. A day.
A day.
Actually.
I work 12 hours a day.
You have stayed the night. You can attest to that.
And may I think Wild deodorant.
Exactly.
May I think Wild deodorant kept me clean.
Fresh.
Yes. Because I am so dedicated that way. But I also delegate things that I am not.
Right.
Don't have the time for.
Right.
Doesn't mean I can't do it.
Right.
It means I need help.
Right.
And then someone that can focus at full time.
Yep.
Because then they become experts at it.
Completely.
And then I think that's so important, is delegating, planning, and creating that structure.
Yeah.
Because when you are consistent, showing up every day, having that authentic marketing approach, that's your monetization, because you're connecting that trust marketing and knowing that niche. And I think where people are, everybody's like, they say don't niche down, or niche down. They say don't niche down, they say niche down. There's different little reasons why.
Yeah.
I don't think I think that you need to niche down in your process, not overdoing it and delegating it.
Love it.
But you can approach and do anything you want.
Completely.
I love sports. I own a business. Yeah. I love bows and pink.
Right.
Like, I'm a mom, but I'm also a wife. I love going to the Rangers game, but you can see me in a Stars game. Like, I love it all.
Because you're a human being. That's as we started, of like, I'm not just this fashion and beauty and that's all I do, or I'm not just this girl struggling to get pregnant. Like, there's layers to people. And I love that. That's why we love them.
Yes. And I think the only thing, like, I wrote a blog, and I'm not trying to like push my blog, but it's called The Core Four, and you can be in the, and I was highlighting like health and fitness.
Right.
And if that's your key, because like I love sports, etc., but like if that's your, there's so many things that come off of that.
Sure.
So if health and fitness is that, you still have to wear clothes.
Yeah.
You still have to wear tennis shoes.
There's avenues.
What's the skincare that you do off of that? What's food that you do off of that?
Yes.
What's this? So you can still create that spider web, and you have a niche.
Right.
But don't niche down so much where you're calling yourself this, because I did that at the very beginning. I called myself this, and I was like, I just need to be me.
Right.
I don't need to be Sweet Memory Photography.
Oh, yeah.
I need to be Audrie Dollins.
Be you. Mm-hmm.
And so many things come out of Audrie Dollins. I experienced so much.
Right.
Not Sweet Memory Photography.
I had a different handle.
What was your handle? Oh my gosh.
I started off, and I was like in this realm where I was like, okay, DJ and I are going to travel, and I'm just going to like do all the things. So my handle was Jet Set Pretty.
That's
it makes me
cute
cringe
though.
now. Like, I loved it
I
then.
was Sweet Memory.
It makes me cringe now.
Jet Set Pretty. I love that.
It feels like an old AOL Instant Messenger screen name to me now. I loved it at the time.
I so want to like AOL message you right now. Hey, Jet Set Pretty.
Yeah. It had no connection to me at all.
But isn't that crazy? Like, you can be you and still go on these trips and then still be going through this. And I think that's why when people are branding with us and creating things, I'm like, don't call yourself that. Right. Because you may not be that. Right. We go through seasons. You may not be that. Right. Because I was like the mom. Right. I don't, my kids drive themselves now. Like, I was Sweet Memory Photography because I had sweet memories of my kids. And I'm not in that season.
Yeah, it changes.
I'll never forget. I was with Cassie with High Sugar Plum, and she's like,
that's my favorite one still to this day, though. You can have a handle that is not your name, to be clear.
Yes, you can have
real good ones out there. Mine was just not one of them.
I was with Cassie, and she's like, give me your phone. And she literally changed my name on Instagram. Like, she's like, we are changing it. Like, Annie Leibovitz was not called.
She's gone.
Like, it's like, she's Audrie Dollins now. And I was so grateful for that because that brand and my name, you know, it can be so many things. Right. But I love that because that means you are who you are online. Yeah. You're trusting, you're marketing, you're connecting with the trust marketing. Yeah. And I think that's what makes the creators we work with so successful.
Totally.
And then you're so great with connecting with them because you've sat there. Yeah. You've had people connect with you in so many ways of what you're going through. You're not alone.
Yeah.
That's what social media is about.
It is. I love knowing both sides of it too. Like I love tapping into that marketing, like negotiating side. Like my husband sends me in to negotiate the cars.
Yes.
Because I love doing it. Like I just love going back and forth and like seeing what we can get.
I love that too. My husband leaves me in there because he's like not putting up with that. But I just need to bring you next time. He was like, oh, good Lord. She said that. Yep. That's me.
Yep.
So sorry.
I
love it
honestly,
too.
I don't know what it is. It's fun. And then you have that creative side where you get to be with people and like navigate it all. So I love it.
And don't you love the sweet joy when you see a collaboration go live?
Oh, it makes my heart so happy.
It literally is watching something just.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cheerleader.
Yes.
Oh, she did it. She's supposed. We're live.
Oh, you tapped in, and I think this is a good part to like close out on because it's such a positive thing. If I could show one thing of the behind the scenes of our office, of the amazing people, past and present, people from the past, how much they like their heart and soul roots for our clients. Oh, yeah. Oh, I wish they could see it.
Yeah.
We care. A lot.
I wish there was a better word, but like it's deep.
Yes.
It's a deep care.
It is.
Like, we want them to succeed. Like, we're putting time and effort into it, and they are too. And, like, we want them to win. Like, we want them to win.
You said something before. You say, I lead with a servant's heart.
I do. Oh,
and it gave me chills. I know.
I learned that from our pastor at our church, and showing up to be I might butcher this, but he says it so well. It's God created you with a 1% that's different from anybody else in the world. And to show up and be like that 1% and that greatness to everything you're doing, whether it's an email or like my husband and I serving kids, and sometimes it's great and sometimes it's really, really hard. I don't want 17 of them.
Yeah, you're like, just give me one, not 17 on a Sunday morning.
Right, it's a lot.
Yes.
But leading with a servant's heart in anything big or small that you do. And that's exactly what I try and bring to the collaborations department.
Yeah, you do. And you bring it to our team too.
Thank you.
And we love having you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for hopping on. I'm so excited to share this episode, and I'm so excited for what's to come.
Me too.
We're going to bring like so many of our team members on here and have our table's square, so maybe we'll find a round table.
Yeah.
We'll do the square table talk.
We'll squeeze in.
Yeah.
It's good. There's so many good things to talk about.
Yeah, I love when our team like goes and just, I want people to see the passion that happens behind these walls, that we're rooting for them and for brands. Yeah. You know?
Absolutely.
I love that.
We all work together.
Well, I'm so glad that you're a part of our team.
Thank you.
And so we're going to end out.
Okay.
And we always end with this. Feel free to laugh at me, but you know, I think it's fitting.
It's good.
It's fitting. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And as always, capture, brand, and engage. And let's do big things. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Founders Fortitude, Conversations with Audrie Dollins. For details and links from our incredible guests, be sure to check out our show notes. You might even find exclusive discounts and special items we share that aren't even mentioned during the show. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to leave a 5-star review. It truly helps us grow and continue sharing valuable insights with you. You can connect with me daily on Instagram at Audrie Dollins, AudrieDollins, and don't forget to visit my website at audriedollins.com, where you'll find years of blogs packed with tips and insights to help you thrive. As always, capture, brand, and engage, and let's do big things.